What's up guys, Cody here, and welcome to a 4v4 on Napoleon Total War. So today, I have a pretty interesting battle for you guys. This is going to be, yet again, another battle of minor nations, and you can see we are going to be in command of the Swedish today. So, before we do get into the action, going to go over the army comps real quick, and let's start off with the light infantry. So I brought 5 Jaegers, and they are the only light infantry for the Swedish. I would rather have some 90 range, or excuse me, 100 range lights, but this will do. And then for my cavalry, I have 2 lifeguards of horse. I have 1 lifeguard of foot, my only elite line unit, and then I have a ton of line infantry for my main body. As well, I have the most elite Swedish general. Wait, actually, take that back. I think it's the second from the bottom, so right above staff general. So he's going to provide some good morale, but let's take a look at my allies. So center right force, you can see he's brought a lot of cav, actually 4 units of mounted Jaegers. That is going to be good. These guys can shoot on horseback, and we'll see what role they play today in this engagement. The map is Homestead, and the game plan for this game is to try and assault these hills, so we're going to be pushing up as fast as possible. Taking a look at the next Swedish army, center left, you see he's also brought quite a bit of cavalry, some mounted Jaegers, some lifeguard of horse, and I believe, yeah, he's brought some militia too, so very well-rounded armies, and he brought the same general as me, I believe. Did he? Yes, he did. Okay. And then finally, we have on the far left flank, the final Swedish army, general staff. He's actually brought a ton of cavalry, I believe 5 units of dragoons, so we'll see what happens there. 2 lifeguard of foot, and we are waiting for this battle to begin. So I'm going to fast forward. We are going to be fighting Denmark. So here we go. Let's check out the first Danish army. So on the right side, their right side, see he's brought a lot of cav as well. Brought some Jaegers, and okay, it looks like he brought 2 Jaegers and then 3 sharpshooters, followed up by some line infantry. And what's pretty funny, the Danish and the Swedish have extremely similar units, so they're also called the Lifeguard of Foot, as well as some of the elite cavalry. They're same names, so very similar. So taking a look at the next army, see, bringing some more sharpshooters. Center left army, got some grenadiers. Little difference there. So many of the armies are pretty much the exact same. And then finally, we have the final Danish army, and bringing some similar builds as well. So we're going to be pushing up. I'm actually going to be kind of taking my time here. Well, not right now, it doesn't look like it, but there's really no hill for me to claim, except for this one on this flank, my left flank. I'm going to try and push my line infantry up right back here. And it looks like the Swedish ally over here on my left flank is actually going to be aiding me with some militia. Now, the militias actually have some chevrons, I believe 3 chevrons, yep, right there, 3 chevrons. So, not too sure why he did that, maybe because his guys can last longer when he's getting shot at, who knows. But there is always a reason behind that, maybe he had leftover money. But anyways, back into the engagement. Looks like the Swedish are going to get a cav charge in on these sharpshooters. Wow, this is going to be devastating on the morale and numbers. He's managed to take out 8 guys, so not too bad, but he's actually going to be fired upon by some line infantry in square. You see, bringing that morale down, but it's going to go right back up. Wasn't too severe. Look over here. Oh man, we got a pretty big cav engagement right here. Light dragoons against some dragoons. We'll see how this ends up. Looks like the Swedish player is actually going to be pushing up on, or sorry, Danish player is going to be pushing up on the Swedish's right flank. And that's not going to be good because he does have the hill advantage. And he's going to get some phenomenal shots off. So over here in the center, things are pretty calm right now. But on the center right, we do have a little bit of a cav engagement still going on. These guys are still in combat with these lights. And you see he's pushing his line right through. He's actually hitting his own guys right now with his lifeguard of horse. That is not going to be good. It's going to take some unnecessary losses from that. But anyways, going to be pushing up my lights now. Actually, I'm going to be running them back just because I see a cav charge coming. Where are they? There they are. Light Dragoons charging my rifles, and I'm going to try to use my militia as effectively as possible. They sustained a couple of losses, but not too bad. After all, they're just there to meet shield and prevent bullets from hitting my important units. So, the Swedish actually did end up winning that cav engagement, so he's going to be pulling back and relying on this line infantry unit to prevent this Swedish push on... Why am I saying Swedish? Danish push on Swedish's right flank. But you can see the two Swedish players are kind of getting separated. You see this big gap here, and that is going to be very bad for them. So he's going to soon send over some line infantry to counter this and prevent the Danish from penetrating the lines and getting behind enemy lines. So I'm actually going to be pushing up now. I see that my ally's pushing up his militia to get some shots off. And he does have some pretty elite units right here. He's got some lifeguard of foot, as well as some lifeguard of horse, and some sharpshooters. So those guys are very deadly. And he also planted stakes, so that's going to prevent any cav charges from happening. Over here, we still have the light engagement continuing, but I am winning, and that is because it is a 3v2 in this area, and then a 1v1 on this side. And that is because he sent over 2 lights to take out, or try to attempt to take out my force here. So I'm going to be pushing up my 1 Jaeger unit and hopefully get some point blank shots off. So we see this volley very shortly. Looks like a melee charge from the militia, very daring to go upon or fight upon these wow, lifeguard of foot. Those guys are going to slaughter that militia in a heartbeat. Looks like the lifeguard of horse are going to engage as well. We have the line now engaging. Very nice stuff. He's going to respawn, get some good shots off. Looks like we have a cav charge now. Will the Swedish player form square? I believe he will. Alright, phenomenal square. Looks like 2 lifeguard of horse are actually going to get completely slaughtered from that. Great job. And that's an elite unit too, so that's going to be horrible if he loses those guys. Over here on the right flank, the Swedish aren't looking too great right now. They're just getting outflanked just because the 2 Swedish players are kind of getting separated. Looks like we have a cav charge now. 2 lifeguards of horses going at it with one another. It looks like the Danish unit's actually going to try and charge into the Jaegers, bringing them down to 35 men. Another cav charge. Wow, a lot of cav is engaging right now. But the Danish are trying to hold strongly right now. But one mistake he is making is that the Swedish player has all his line and lights firing. Meanwhile, the Danish player just has his lights firing. So that is not good. Over here we got some mounted Jaegers engaging these lifeguard of foot. And that's going to give the Swedish player some time to get some nice volleys off and slowly trickle down the men in that unit. Over here, yet again, another cav charge still continuing. Looks like those sharpshooters are actually going to get some very nice shots off on these lifeguard of horse. So it looks like he's going to retaliate by charging into them. And let's check this cav charge out. Oh, he's actually going to... No, he's going to continue. Oh, he's going to run behind the stakes. The Swedish player sees that, so he's going to be pulling back right now. But over here, it is not looking good for the Swedish player. You see, he's already lost that 1 line unit. We have another cav engagement here. We've got the Swedish line caught up in a melee engagement. So, phenomenal job by the Danish player. He's going to be pushing up his line now because he knows the Swedish player is in melee combat. And watch this. He's going to get some beautiful shots off. Look at that. Bodies dropping. And that's the lifeguard of foot. So those guys are going to be losing a lot of men very quickly. So teamwork is a very important thing in this game. Just shows you that if you isolate or get isolated, it is very hard to come back. It's like there's a little bit of a flanking force here from the Swedish on the far left flank. The Danish are there to counter with 2 line infantry of their own. Got a random square. That was pretty weird. Don't know why that is out there so far. But action is still continuing. We got a cav charge from the lifeguard of horse, but into a square. The Danish are ready. Oh, that is not good. But the Danish are winning on this flank. They're being pretty successful right now. And then over here, the Danish actually managed to take the hill, but I sent up my lifeguard afoot just to make sure they will not be able to take it. I'm going to continue to open up, and those guys are pretty depleted, so they will break very shortly. We got a massive melee engagement about to happen. I'm just praying my guys can get some final shots off before they do engage into melee. Going to form square. Oh man, my guys are going to get hit hard. Going to actually charge in my lifeguard a horse now. I am winning this light engagement still. See, these guys are down to 28 men. My guys are still very healthy with 49, 49, and 55. Over here, the Swedish player is actually managing to flank the Danish player. He is getting pretty low on troops right now. Only 4 units left compared to the Swedish having at least 10. So not looking good. Looks like the Danish player is actually going to try and get into some melee action with the Jaegers. I love the Grenadiers. They have some really nice units. Their uniforms. Well, the captain's engaged right now. Doing pretty well fending off these Grenadiers, but will he die? Oh, he's stumbling. He's stumbling. Let's see, will he be able to get a kill? He's just falling over. What a clumsy guy. He just popped back up. Okay, alright, logic. I think he's gonna die, though. Is he going to die? Yes! Stabbed. And he's dead. So the Swedish player not looking good, as well as the Danish player, so things are pretty even right now, I must say. So it's going to rely, or the battle's going to be relied on this Swedish player, the center left, my center left, and then me on the far right flank. Just because the Swedish player here is just getting slaughtered, as well as this Danish player, so pretty crazy stuff's happening. But look at this, pushing up my lifeguard afoot now. No, that's my ally. My ally was helping me out tremendously. Very thankful for those units. They really did do a lot and keep the Danish on their toes. But I just want to show you the stray volleys. Look at this. 85 men. I did not engage this line of infantry once, nor did I not target them. I did nothing. This is all from stray volleys. I mean, it is a huge factor. And look at this other one. 100, 79, 40. None of these line units actually ever seen action or saw action. It's just because of those stray volleys, and it's just so deadly. Now, since my guys were a little bit further back, I knew what stray volleys were, how devastating they were. Excuse me. I only took, I took very few losses. This unit's at 109. That's not good at all. But other than that, they're all pretty healthy. 118 for both of those. But over here, stress is going to be a big factor for this Danish player, just because he knows there is a massive, massive Swedish force coming upon his left flank. Over here, the Danish player needs to try and hurry up and finish off the Swedish player that is still trying to hang on for dear life. Looks like the... Wow, okay, so some teamwork is being made right here. Looks like the Swedish player right here is going to try and aid the Swedish player on the far left flank, but he's just trying to defend this checkpoint and prevent his flank from collapsing. So it's just a matter of time. The Danish player needs to move over his troops and aid this center right Danish player, just because he's going to get flanked extremely shortly, very soon. And I mean, look at the numbers, still very, very healthy units. Something that I would be very fearful of. Looks like he's actually going to try and go for the general. Wow, what a daring move. Wow. Very, very interesting move there. But there are some line infantry to protect the general. And I do believe he manages to survive, so that is good. The Swedish player only has one line unit left, and his general, and that is pretty much it. So... yeah, not looking good for this Danish player right here in the center. It's just hell that's about to unleash upon him. Over here, though, the line engagement has continued. Sorry for not letting you guys see this, getting distracted. So, with these stray volleys, that's going to really devastate his men, and he's going to have a lot less men to start off with. So this is going to allow me to get many more kills, especially with my lights being able to shoot at the same time. So more firepower at a faster rate is going to break them very quickly. And you can see the Danish player on the far right flank is not looking so good at all. Only has a couple line units left. I actually managed to charge in with this line infantry unit with some grenadiers. Not the smartest move, but they were out of ammunition, so might as well, rather than getting shot and not retaliating at all. So I'm going to continue to push. You see the line infantry's red morale. They are pretty much the lone survivor right here, besides this grenadier unit and this other one. And the grenadiers do end up breaking there, so the Danish far left flank is very exposed right now. But you see, I am very isolated from the battlefield. See, the other players are making their way to our left side of the battlefield to try and eliminate these Danish players, but they are holding strong. Their numbers are still decent, but compared to the Swedish force surrounding them, it is not looking good at all, especially with my massive force beginning to march over. But they are going to be at a benefit, and that is just because my guys are going to take ages to get over there, so it's going to buy the Danish some time before he does have to engage me. Not to mention the other 2 or 3 armies still facing the Danish here. So with the Swedish main force pretty much destroyed, the Danish player is actually going to send over and help aid the Danish player in the center right. You see, mini-map, a lot of routing units. So over here, good job by the Danish player, charging in a cav unit, and then allowing the line of infantry to open up on those lifeguard of foot. Going to lower their numbers, so Danish player's doing the best he can right now, using the hill advantage to his benefit, but it does come with some issues, just because he's actually getting flanked by some units as well. Looks like some sharpshooters actually came back, or excuse me, Jaegers came back. They're pretty low in numbers, but they still have a force, and that's going to distract these Danish player, or this Danish player, from engaging the Swedish. We got some line infantry engaging now. Red morale for one of the line units. The other one's still at green. Pretty healthy unit. 103, 102. But it is getting very intense right here. Super close engagement. We got some militia against some lifeguard afoot. Lifeguards afoot are going to totally slaughter that militia. But he is going to get flanked very shortly. Only 2 units holding this left flank, and they are very depleted, and they're going to break at any second right now. There they go, they broke, and they're running for their lives. So this one lifeguard afoot is pretty much the only unit here that's protecting this left flank. And I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units against one. Not looking good whatsoever. Okay, so the Danish player over here on the far right flank is actually going to be pushing up now. Got a little melee engagement still. Got the lifeguard a horse engaging in with some Jaegers. Looks pretty obvious that the Jaegers are going to rout at any second, seeing their numbers and morale. Oh man, look at this. Lifeguards afoot, getting pretty much surrounded right now from all angles. He's going to try and engage in melee, hoping to turn the odds against him. And let's just check out some of this melee engagement. Looks like the Danish are actually doing pretty well in melee right now. Taking out a lot of the Swedish force. Oh, getting stabbed in the gut. Oh. But he did manage to break that one lifeguard afoot, and he's going to continue the charge onward to these light infantry. Light infantry are very ready to counter this, but will they be able to take them out before they do manage to reach his lines? Good charge by the Danish right there. But numbers and morale is going to play a big role for this unit. You see he's already in the red, and he's going to get charged from the back, so those guys are bound to break at any moment. There they go. So going to fast forward now, it's pretty much just one Danish army left compared to, I think, three Swedish armies. We have one army here, one army out here, and then one army over here. Looks like we got some of the Danish cavalry coming in, being a little bit sneaky right there. Gotta watch out for stakes. There are a lot of stakes placed on this battlefield. But let's take a look at the bodies. Complete bloodbath over here, fighting for this hill, as well as over here. I didn't take too many losses, but it went pretty well. So let's put things back into regular time. You see the Swedish are now going to engage, and it's pretty funny. They kind of swapped positions now, but the Danish are going to take defensive measures and have a last stand here. You got the general looking onward, seeing the Swedish reserves coming in. I mean, this poor unit. I mean, look at this. Not only is he engaging from so many angles, but if you were a soldier in this unit, I would be so demoralized to see even more Swedish troops in the background. I mean, that would totally devastate my morale. But no, they're holding strong. But the Swedes are holding stronger. Even have the general now coming in. What is he doing? Where is he going? Okay, it looks like he's going to try and charge into this Lifeguards of Horse. Hopefully do some damage, but I don't know if that's the smartest move. Lifeguard of Horse is extremely elite, so the general may die. Let's take a look. Where's he at? No, the general is dead. He is gone. Not the smartest move by the Swedish player. But yeah, it did prevent the line infantry from firing, so that was good. But that Lifeguard of Horse is going to continue to charge into the backs of the Swedes, preventing them from firing. But the Swedish numbers are getting very low right now. You see my Jaegers are now going to be pushing up. They do have a slight hill advantage, or not hill advantage, angles to where my guys can shoot over the heads of my allied Swedish line. So at this point I was like, charge, let's do it, let's just charge. And very shortly, I'm just waiting for the moment. Okay, so we're going to have a big melee engagement very soon. Just waiting for the moment to hear all the screaming men running. But look at this, we've got this one brave line infantry unit, only with 27 men. They do end up breaking. But here goes the melee engagement. Good clash. And here goes my massive army charging into the rest of the Danish army. General scared for his life, seeing all the Swedes just running at him. Wow. What a view to behold. We got some sharpshooters trying to defend the general and keep him alive, but with the numbers the Swedish or Danish have, it's no hope. So the general's going to try and have a little final stand with the rest of his men, and hopefully take down as many Swedes as possible. So, looking up into the sun, you can see the bodies are piling up now. This guy's doing pretty well right now, but he's not going to be doing so well after this massive melee charge happens. This guy stabbed in the face. The Danish are gone, guys. They have nothing left. Only a line unit and a general staff, but when you have the whole Swedish army on 2 units, it's not bound to go your way whatsoever. So let's take a look. Put this into slow motion for you guys. Look at that. Look at that horde of Swedish troops coming in to finish off the Danish. So let's take it back to regular speed. General, last unit alive. And there he goes. So very, very good game. It was actually pretty close. The Danish did have a nice last stand here, and they did get some phenomenal kills. So let's take a look at the stats. So I had a really, really pathetic game. Only 862 kills, so that was horrible. My allies, though, look at this. Almost 1,700 kills for this guy. 1,900 here. We have, for the enemy, we have 700, 700 again, 1,000, and then 1,400. So phenomenal job all around. I actually did very pathetic. Let's take a look at the unit statistics. Line infantry with 94 kills, 93 losses. Boy, that's not good. Okay. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, remember to leave a like and subscribe if you did like the video. And as always, guys, I'll be seeing you guys later.